In a soul-stirring interview with The Times, John Legend, the velvet-voiced maestro whose anthems of love and justice have moved millions, laid bare the agony of his fractured bond with Kanye West, a man once his mentor, collaborator, and brother in arms. With a platform that once lifted black voices to soaring heights, West has, in recent years, wielded his influence to amplify anti-Semitic tropes and anti-black narratives, leaving Legend to mourn the loss of a friendship and grapple with the wreckage of a legacy. It's devastating to watch someone with such genius, such power, use their voice to spread hate, Legend said, his words heavy with grief, yet resolute with conviction. What follows is the story of two titans of music, their rise, their rift, and the profound questions their fallout raises about fame, responsibility, and the soul of a culture. The saga of John Legend and Kanye West is one of the most compelling narratives in modern music. A tale of shared dreams, creative triumphs, and a painful divergence that mirrors the fractures of our times. Their story began in the early 2000s when West, a brash producer from Chicago with a knack for sampling soul records, spotted the raw talent of John Stevens, a gospel-trained pianist from Springfield, Ohio. Under West's mentorship, Stevens became John Legend, signing to West's Good Music label in 2004. Together, they crafted era-defining hits, from the introspective grooves of West's The College Dropout to the heartfelt ballads of Legend's Get Lifted. Their partnership was more than a professional alliance. It was a kinship forged in late-night studio sessions, shared laughter, and a mutual hunger to redefine what black artistry could be. Kanye saw something in me that I was still discovering, Legend recalled. He gave me a chance to shine, and I'll never forget that. Their early collaborations were a cultural phenomenon, blending hip-hop's raw energy with R&B's emotional depth. Tracks like Ordinary People, Used to Love You, and Jesus Walks resonated with listeners worldwide, offering a soundtrack for a generation grappling with post-9/11 anxieties and systemic inequities. Good music became a beacon of innovation, nurturing talents like Common, Kid Cudi, and Big Sean while challenging the music industry's status quo. For Legend and West, their work was a mission to elevate black voices, to tell stories of struggle and resilience, and to prove that art could be both commercially successful and socially conscious. "We were young, hungry, and fearless," Legend said. "We wanted to change the game, and for a while we did." But the harmony of their partnership began to falter in 2007, following the tragic death of West's mother, Donda West. A beloved educator and West's fiercest advocate, Donda's passing after complications from cosmetic surgery sent her son into a spiral of grief and instability. "She was his rock," Legend noted. "Losing her left a void that nothing could fill." West's subsequent album, 808 and Heartbreak, channeled his pain into haunting melodies and auto-tuned confessions, earning critical acclaim but also revealing a man unmoored. His public behavior grew erratic, interrupting Taylor Swift at the 2009 VMAs, clashing with media, and embarking on ambitious but chaotic ventures like his Yeezy fashion line. For Legend, watching West's transformation was like witnessing a slow-motion tragedy. "I could see him struggling," he said, "but I never imagined it would lead to where we are now." The first public signs of their rift emerged in 2016 when West began openly supporting Donald Trump, donning a MAGA hat and praising the then-president's dragon energy. For Legend, a lifelong advocate for progressive causes like criminal justice reform and voting rights, West's alignment with a figure many viewed as antagonistic to black interests was a bitter pill. It wasn't just about politics, Legend clarified. It was about what those politics meant for our communities. Kanye was endorsing ideas that felt like a step backward. Legend attempted to bridge the gap through private conversations, hoping to understand West's perspective. "I reached out, not to argue, but to listen," he said. But it became clear we were seeing the world through different lenses. The breaking point came with West's 2020 presidential campaign, a quixotic and polarizing bid that saw him make statements that stunned even his most loyal fans. His claim that slavery was a choice during a 2018 interview had already sparked outrage, but his 2020 campaign doubled down on provocative rhetoric, including comments that appeared to dismiss the historical weight of systemic racism. These remarks reverberated through the Black community, prompting accusations that West was betraying the very legacy he'd once championed. Those words weren't just careless, they were harmful, Legend said. When you have a platform as big as Kanye's, your voice can either heal or wound. He chose the latter. West's descent into anti-Semitic rhetoric in 2022 marked a new low. In a series of posts on X and interviews, he echoed tropes about Jewish control over media and finance, drawing condemnation from the Anti-Defamation League, civil rights groups, and former allies. The backlash was swift. Adidas, Gap, and other brands severed ties, and West's net worth plummeted. But the damage extended beyond his personal fortunes. According to a 2023 report by the Southern Poverty Law Center, anti-Semitic incidents in the U.S. rose by 30% in the wake of West's comments, with extremist groups citing his words to justify their agendas. To see someone I once called a brother normalize ideas that have fueled pogroms and holocausts, it's soul-crushing, Legend said. It's not just about Kanye, it's about the millions who hear him and might believe him. What makes West's actions particularly painful for Legend is their impact on the Black community. West's early music, from All Falls Down to Heard 'Em Say, spoke to the realities of systemic racism, economic disparity, and the quest for self-worth. Yet his recent rhetoric, Legend argues, has distorted Black history and identity, sowing confusion at a time when clarity and unity are vital. He's spreading narratives that undermine our struggle, Legend said. When he says things that trivialize slavery or pit Black people against each other, it's not just wrong, it's dangerous. It fragments us when we need to stand together. Legend was careful not to delve into West's mental health, a topic that has dominated public discourse since West's bipolar disorder diagnosis. While acknowledging the visible changes in West's behavior, Legend emphasized that personal struggles do not absolve one of accountability. "I'm not here to diagnose or excuse," he said. "Mental health is real, and I empathize with anyone facing those challenges. But when your words incite harm, you have to own that." Kanye's platform comes with a responsibility to do no harm. The fallout between Legend and West reflects broader tensions within the music industry and society. Hip-hop, once a voice for the marginalized, has become a global force, with artists like West wielding influence that rivals political leaders. But with that power comes the risk of amplifying dangerous ideas, a reality that Legend believes demands reckoning. "We can't just say it's Kanye being Kanye and move on," he said. "The industry has to grapple with how we handle artists whose words cross ethical lines. Silence is complicity." The controversy has also sparked debates about cancel culture and free speech. On platforms like Record Sicily, a hub for unsigned artists, users are divided. Some defend West's right to speak freely, arguing that his mental health contextualizes his behavior, while others call for consequences, citing the real-world impact of his words. Streaming platforms like Spotify and Apple Music face pressure to moderate content that promotes hate, while labels grapple with balancing artistic freedom with social responsibility. "It's a messy conversation," Legend admitted, "but it's one we need to have. Art doesn't exist in a vacuum. It shapes the world." For Legend, the pain of losing West is personal but also symbolic of larger societal fractures. The two men once shared a vision of using music to heal and inspire, but their paths have diverged irreconcilably. "It's like mourning someone who's still here," Legend said. "I still love the Kanye who made College Dropout, who poured his soul into every beat, but I can't stand by the person he's become." Despite the hurt, Legend holds out hope that West can rediscover the empathy and integrity that defined his early career. "I pray he finds his way back," he said, "not for me, but for the world that still listens to him." The story of Legend and West is a microcosm of the challenges facing a polarized world: how to navigate friendship amid ideological divides, how to balance talent with accountability, and how to wield influence without causing harm. For Legend, the answer lies in using his platform to foster unity and justice. His recent projects, including a children's album inspired by his family and a tour celebrating Get Lifted's 20th anniversary, reflect his commitment to joy and connection. His advocacy work, from criminal justice reform with FREEAMERICA to voter outreach, underscores his belief that artists must be agents of change. "We're at a turning point," he said. "We can amplify division or we can build bridges. I'm choosing bridges." Cultural and historical context. To fully grasp the weight of Legend's words, it's essential to situate their story within the broader arc of hip-hop and Black culture. Hip-hop emerged in the 1970s as a voice for disenfranchised communities, blending African oral traditions with urban realities. By the 2000s, it had become a global phenomenon, with artists like West and Legend pushing its boundaries. West's The College Dropout was a landmark, merging soul samples with introspective lyrics that challenged stereotypes about Black masculinity. Legend's Get Lifted complemented this, offering a polished counterpoint that celebrated love and resilience. The early 2000s were a pivotal moment for Black artistry. The aftermath of September 11th, coupled with ongoing issues like police brutality and economic inequality, created a hunger for music that spoke truth to power. West's 2005 statement that George Bush doesn't care about Black people during a Hurricane Katrina telethon was a defining act of defiance, cementing his status as a cultural provocateur. Legend, meanwhile, used his platform to advocate for education and social justice, earning respect as a thoughtful voice in turbulent times. But as hip-hop's influence grew, so did its complexities. The genre's commercialization brought wealth and visibility, but also pressure to conform to market demands. West's evolution from a backpack rapper to a fashion mogul and political lightning rod reflects this tension. His Yeezy brand, valued at billions before his 2022 controversies, redefined celebrity entrepreneurship, but his forays into politics exposed the limits of unchecked influence. Kanye's journey shows the double-edged sword of fame, said cultural critic Dr. Imani Perry in a 2024 interview. "He's a genius, but genius without guardrails can be destructive." The Black community, too, has grappled with West's legacy. His early work inspired pride, but his recent actions have sparked soul-searching. "Kanye was a hero to many of us," said activist Tamika Mallory on a 2023 podcast. "But when he undermines our history, it feels like a betrayal." This sentiment echoes Legend's, highlighting the stakes of West's rhetoric in a community already navigating systemic challenges. The role of social media, particularly X, has amplified the controversy. West's posts, often impulsive and inflammatory, reach millions instantly, shaping narratives before they can be contextualized. X's algorithm, which prioritizes engagement, can boost divisive content, a dynamic that scholars like Dr. Sophia Noble have criticized. "Platforms like X aren't neutral," Noble wrote, in Algorithms of Oppression. "They amplify what gets attention, whether it's truth or hate." Legend, an active X user, has used the platform to counter misinformation, posting about voting rights and community initiatives. "Social media can be a tool for good," he said, "but it's also a megaphone for harm if we're not careful." The X community has been a microcosm of the debate. A 2023 thread analyzing West's comments garnered over 10,000 posts, with users debating everything from mental health to free speech. Some, like at MusicFan92, argued, "Kanye's bipolar disorder explains a lot. We should show compassion." Others, like at Justice Now, countered, "Mental health isn't a free pass to spread hate. Words have consequences." These exchanges reflect the broader societal struggle to balance empathy with accountability. The music industry's response. The music industry faces its own reckoning. Labels, once focused solely on profit, now navigate ethical dilemmas as artists' actions ripple globally. Spotify's 2022 decision to remove certain hate speech from its platform sparked debate about censorship versus responsibility. Apple Music's Rap Life playlist, which once featured West prominently, has shifted focus to younger artists like J. Cole and Kendrick Lamar, whose lyrics grapple with social issues without West's baggage. The industry is waking up, said music executive Leor Cohen in a 2024 Billboard interview. We can't just chase hits, we have to think about impact. For unsigned artists, platforms like Record Sicily offer a glimpse into the grassroots response. A 2024 thread titled "Is Kanye Still a Role Model?" saw producers and rappers wrestling with his influence. He showed us we could break molds, wrote user BeatmakerX, but now he's breaking trust. Others, like lyricist Vibe, argued, we need to separate the art from the artist. College Dropout still slaps. These voices underscore the complexity of West's legacy and the industry's evolving standards. John Legend's path forward for Legend, the fallout with West has only deepened his resolve. His 2024 children's album, My Favorite Dream, inspired by his children Luna, Miles, Esty, and Ren, is a testament to his belief in music's power to nurture. His 2025 tour, celebrating Get Lifted's 20th anniversary, blends nostalgia with new material that addresses today's challenges. Music is my way of processing, he said. It's how I heal, how I connect, how I fight. His activism remains a cornerstone. Through Free America, Legend has helped reduce incarceration rates in several states, while his work with the Show Me campaign promotes educational equity. In 2024, he launched a voter registration drive targeting young people, partnering with organizations like When We All Vote. Voting is power, he said at a rally. It's how we shape the future. These efforts contrast sharply with West's political missteps, highlighting Legend's commitment to tangible change. A cautionary tale. The story of John Legend and Kanye West is a cautionary tale about the perils of fame, the fragility of friendship, and the weight of influence. It's a reminder that talent, no matter how prodigious, is not a shield against accountability. For Legend, speaking out was a necessity, not to condemn West, but to protect the values they once shared. This isn't about tearing Kanye down, he said. It's about lifting up the truth. As West navigates the consequences of his actions, legal battles, financial losses, and a tarnished reputation, the world watches, wondering if redemption is possible. Legend, ever the optimist, holds out hope. I want to believe the Kanye I knew is still there, he said, the one who made music that moved us, who spoke for us. I pray he finds his way back to that. Until then, Legend will continue to sing, advocate, and build a legacy of love and justice, proving that even in the face of loss, one can choose to create rather than destroy. Their story is a mirror for our times, reflecting the choices we all face in a world of noise and division. Will we amplify hate or understanding? Will we break or build? John Legend has made his choice, and his voice, clear, compassionate, and unwavering, calls on us to do the same.